Let's Talk Oculus, a VR podcast, is proudly sponsored by the good folks at Patreon. If you want to support the show, join us on patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. What's up, Oculus nerds? Welcome back to Let's Talk Oculus, episode 92. I'm your host back from vacation. As always, I'm Dan from Playtest VR, and I'm joined by my co-host, Samson, who continued the ship. I don't know what the saying is, but continued the ship last week and did our podcast with our patron Jenna. How you doing, Samson? How was your first time hosting?
Oh, it was awful. I'll let the viewers decide on that one. But yeah, uncomfortable. Maybe I get more practice as you slowly take days off. You know, I know you love those Canadian vacations.
I've ran out now, so it's okay.
I'll get better as time goes on. But yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I got my new bubbler hat that I had made, and
very nice.
Yeah,
you have a summer camp coming up soon at the Bubbler Arcade, right?
Yeah. We do. We just had a little meeting about it today. Definitely approaching fast, especially with my trips the next 2 weekends.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. All right, let's kind of get straight into it because it's been a little while since we both kind of just sat down and talked, because we did a few podcasts or a couple pre-recorded to put out and such, and then obviously you had the one with Jenna last week. But how's your VR been this week? We've had a few games and such released, Pixel Ripped, Hubris, and all that stuff, but how's your gaming been in VR?
Oh, it has been jam-packed. In preparation for today's meeting at the Bubbler and for camp, I've been getting in a boatload of experiences / games in like short 10 to 20 minute increments.
Okay.
Just to test them out, see if they'd be good with kids.
Right, I see. So you're going to do some games that you've not played before?
I mean, Google Earth was one. Droid Repair was another one. That Star Wars Droid Repair, I'd never played that one.
No, I never played that one.
15 minutes long, and it's very cool looking. You don't move much, and you repair a few BB droids. It's pretty good.
Is this on PC?
Yeah, and it's free. That one's free. Google Earth also free.
Nice.
Google Earth, cool because it has 6 or so pre-made sort of tours of the Earth that you can see. And so that would be good for kids to just get in quick. I did Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel, which I've mentioned before. That's like an hour-long tour, though. So I don't know that I'm going to use that for camp. But there's a free roam option, and it's very cool to get in there and see it. But I don't know that one's sort of built for it.
Yeah.
I tried Titans of Space, which is a 15 or 25-minute experience, depending on how many moons you want to go see. Of our solar system, and I did about 15 minutes of that. Pretty cool stuff. Is this little robot guide?
Kids love space.
This little robot gives you a really cool in-depth tour. He goes in, goes out. You can fly the little spaceship around. And then I tried some hand tracking. I did the First Hand, which is a Quest experience, I think geared towards developers.
Yeah.
To let them know how to incorporate it.
Yeah, how to use all like the controls and such. It's like a little physics lab in a way, just to kind of
exactly. And then I played Broken Spectre, which is a hand tracking Lovecraftian horror feel game. I'm about 45 minutes into it. It's a 2-hour experience. I got stuck when I tried to play about a half hour in.
As you would do.
Brief, not really spoilers here, but, skip ahead 30, 40 seconds if you don't want to hear this. Some of the puzzles make you do things that you might not do in real life, and might be uncomfortable. I don't know. Like sticking your hand into something and or at one point you're supposed to like cut your hand essentially with a knife. Oh. And I'm like, I got stuck there. I was like, I would not have thought of that. Eventually I was like, this is only so many things you can interact with and do. Sure. So I just thought of it. It was like, that's what I have to do.
Yeah.
That said, oh, go ahead.
I was about to say it is from the makers of the Blair Witch Project, so
Hmm.
that kind of makes more sense now that you have to
Yeah,
cut your hand and such.
there are a couple. I've been jump scared like twice,
Mm,
but nothing too real bad. Nothing real bad. I think if you enjoy narrative focused stories into Lovecraftian vibe, 100%
mm,
up your alley. It's worth the price. It's 11.99 USD,
yeah, it's on App Lab,
and
right? It's on
it's
App Lab.
on app. Yeah, I think it's on App Lab. I'm not sure. They gave me a key.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
Actually, I played the game first, and I got this cool water bottle 2 years ago at
Oh,
PAX
nice.
East,
Look at that.
and I did find
That's a
the
cool looking
it's.
water bottle. That's a good
Thank
looking.
you,
Hey,
thank
get that
you.
back on the screen. Get that back
It's
on the
done
screen.
by Games by Stitch,
That's nice.
and I saw a Reddit feed where they were answering a lot of questions, so I can talk briefly about that. They
Mm,
essentially call the game a three off. There's a couple choices you can make in the directions you walk, and I assume the story sort of changes
yeah,
based on that. And it's about 2.5 hours, depending how much narrative you're listening to, or if you're just trying to get through it.
sure. Yeah, it's,
Um,
just to confirm, it is on App Lab. It's a surprise that you just said it was 11.99, and it does support touch controllers if you don't want to do hand
yeah,
track.
but it's still teleport and all that, just because of base. It's how the game's based.
Yeah,
The hand tracking is incredible. I was even eating a bag of chips in one hand while I was playing. Um,
as you do,
yeah,
as you do.
exactly.
Also,
Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Droid Repair is on the Oculus Go. It
Really,
never made it to the Quest. Yeah, it's on the Oculus
I played
Go
on
and
Steam. Yeah,
Gear VR. It is on Steam too. But that's how old it is. It came out in 2017.
yeah. It's essentially an advertisement for one of the Star Wars movies that came out then. I forget which one. It said at the end, like, "Go see this movie. It's
20.
in theaters."
Oh, okay. It might be. Oh wait, oh no, I just see it. It's the Last Jedi. It's the eighth one.
I don't know.
I don't know. Those are
And
forgotten movies, in my opinion.
then I got into VR Giants with a friend from Rough Talk VR. Played
Yeah.
about a half hour. We did Steam remote play, so I was in VR and she was using a controller, and it's a platformer. And the person in VR is like a big rock figure, and you can help them get up to platforms
Oh,
and
I see.
solve puzzles. I've read that's about a 6 hour game, so I've got 5 plus hours left.
Is he gonna finish
Um,
it? Is he gonna finish it? Who knows?
Probably so eventually. That's actually one I'm going to use for camp, I think,
Yeah.
just to show off asymmetrical sort of game.
Mm. What is the age range for the people who are going to the camp?
It will be kids just after their freshman year, so they'll be about 15 years old.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. For some reason, I was thinking 10-year-olds now that Quest is allowing for 10-year-olds.
No, they're a
But
little older, yeah.
oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah, you can have more complex stuff, and it's fine.
And then I assume we'll get into Hubris in a minute, but the last game I played was Disc Golf Heiser Flip. Played that with
Mm.
PJ and DMAX, and the dev added fist bumping per my suggestion, and it is
Oh,
great.
really?
There's like some haptic feedback and a small little animation, and you can just like
That's cool.
fist bump, fist bump.
That's
Very
cool.
fun.
That's cool. Is there like a
Definitely
little
enjoying it.
animation when you do fist bump? Like there's like a little
Yeah, yeah. It's like
effect that
Phew!
comes up?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's cool. That's
And then I
amazing.
bought a few games that I have yet to get in. One of them, two of them, I won. One in a Discord, one I guess in a Discord giveaway. The other, the devs were giving it away.
Yeah,
Those are Rival Rides Daedalus, Daedalus. That's one's
sure.
on App Lab. I'm not sure what that one's about. And then the multiplayer game Stack, where you're sort of
Yeah.
throwing discs at each other. That one I'm kind of excited to get in.
Nice. I actually went onto my Oculus app yesterday and it just said, you've got $7 credit, like randomly. I have no idea why, but they just gave me $7. I don't know if because I didn't use the Oculus 30 and it's like, here's $7 or something.
Buy something. Would you buy something?
I haven't, to be fair, I haven't actually bought anything on the Quest store for a while, like thinking about it. I'm just looking at my apps right now and I haven't actually bought anything because I've just been either playing what I've had or what the devs have given me.
Yeah.
But I am tempted to get Pixel Ripped. I haven't played the first one, but there's a duo pack which has both of them in for like
Mm-hmm.
$30, and I think it was $30 or maybe $40. Probably makes more sense, but I might get that because I've been recommending that game so many times, and I've heard nothing but good things about the new one. And the new one actually looks really nice. I really want to play that one more than the first one, to be
Yeah.
honest. But because they have this deal for this duo pack right now, it feels like the most sensible. So I
Start
think
there.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna pick that up once I'm back from another week away.
Yeah, and then I got into Breachers. Generally, every Friday I've been playing Breachers with a big group, and
Yeah.
also got into Breachers with Eric Masher from Q2C during his Saturday night stream.
Mm.
I enjoy me some Breachers, but they need that new map to come out.
Yeah, is at that time. I guess it's like Among Us as well, where it's like it's that time now where we could do with another variation.
I did get into Among Us as well. Now that you mention that,
You did. You
yeah,
did on Thursday, yeah.
yeah,
You did get to Among Us. Well, speaking of games that we all kind of played, I finally went into Walkabout and played the new map, The Journey to the Center of the Earth. Now, confession, I haven't watched this film. I obviously missed the time when we watched it in big screen, unfortunately. But I should definitely watch this film because obviously I don't know any references that's happening, and I'm sure
got
there's
to read the
loads.
book.
Yeah, I gotta read the book. Gotta do a lot of things. But I think we played together on the Discord. There was 8 of us. There's a
Yeah, we
full
packed it.
packed it. I still haven't played the hard mode. I still have no idea what that even looks like, which is a bit crazy, right? Because I'm sure a lot of people listening to this have already played through it both, and maybe even got the Fox Hunt by now. But from the first one that I played out of the 8 of us, I thought it's beautifully done. I really like there's a few holes that have like the water level rising and lowering. I think that's a cool
Tides.
new
Yeah.
mechanic that we've never seen before. Um, it's fairly easy, the easy mode. Like if you play quite sensibly, you're gonna get probably low -10s. Maybe onwards, unless you blow up on a hole or two. Or like there was one hole that we played where it was the third hole where the water's going up and down. It was like
Mm-hmm.
the last one that the water was going up and down. And I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna try and go for it and see if I can do it. And it just didn't go right. So I think I didn't max, but I got close. I got close on that hole.
18 can be tough on that one too.
Yeah, 18. I luckily got a hold of one, and then my battery died, and I
Yeah.
was out of it. But 18 can be tough, yeah, because it's like you kind of want to hit some of that water before just to slow your ball down. I for somehow didn't hit the water, and it was about to go off, and I just held grip, and eventually it just came
It
back
rolled
down,
in. Yeah.
and it rolled in. So, but I think that might have been more luck than anything, because a lot of us were, getting it
Most
out
of
of
us
bounds.
missed that at least once. Yeah.
Yeah, so that one's not as easy as some of the, like, I'm thinking like Tethys Station where it goes round
Mm-hmm.
like the
You have
big
to
loop.
guarantee in.
That's
Yeah.
like a guarantee. It just depends if you can hit like the -2 or something to try and get a lower score as you're doing it. Yeah, this one's a little bit more difficult, but overall I really like the course. But it is one of those courses that I really need to watch that film. It's like Labyrinth in a way. Like I really need to
The
watch.
references aren't as like in your face, I think.
No,
Or yeah.
I guess so. I guess I would just appreciate it more. I think I'll just appreciate it more. But I think it's a beautiful course. I think it's another great walkabout course, and it's basically, if they hadn't done so many good courses in the past, I'd be raving about this one. But because they've had so many good courses, this is just like now what I expect. This is the bar, And I think the biggest thing for me is like what I mentioned in terms of the water rising up and down. I love a new mechanic. I'm a sucker for new mechanics. I like when a course has a completely new, maybe not complete for the whole course like Upside Town does, but like the Kyoto Valley where it has
You wait
like
till you
the
play the hard
wind
mode, dude.
and such. I haven't even seen the hard mode
That's where the new mechanic comes in. Yeah.
yet. Is it coming more? Essentially,
Yeah, I mean the thing with the hard mode is it's dark and you have a flashlight on your club
that's
to
cool.
see. or you can switch to a headlamp. And
That's
so
cool.
it's very difficult to see the course without, you
Without
got
your
a
light.
flashlight. Yeah. And
That's
then,
so cool.
yeah.
Oh man, I just want to jump into it now. Let's pause the podcast.
Yeah.
No, I'll play it tonight for sure. I've got some free time tonight, so I'll definitely jump in. But that excites me. I'll talk about it more next time for sure. And then the other game I've been playing is Hubris, and we've both been playing it. The Hubris, just a disclaimer first, is we were given the code for Hubris. You got it on Quest, right?
I did.
And I
And
got it
it's
on.
cross buy, so I also have it on the Rift store.
Oh, easy. And then I have it on PSVR too, because like what we said a few podcasts ago, I feel like big games like this, I should just get it on the PSVR too. I have it. I have the luxury of owning one. I should use it for
Yeah,
it,
take
right?
advantage of those
I should take
haptic
advantage of
features
it.
and the. Yeah.
Yeah, and for those people who don't really know Hubris, this game came out a few months ago on PC VR, and then they've
Yeah,
now ported it to Quest, and they've ported it to PlayStation. A lot of people didn't think it will get ported to Quest because it is a very beautiful game. It's a sci-fi adventure game, I would say, and it's might be one of the most beautiful games I've ever played.
for sure.
Obviously I'm playing on PSVR 2, and you should definitely speak about what the quest looks like in a second. But when I started the game, it's like you do this like tutorial mode, and in the tutorial mode alone, it felt like I was actually in a PS4 game, or a PS, maybe not PS5 game, but definitely a PS4 game where I was literally in it. Like I like the opening shot of like Halo, when you're
Yeah,
like
when you're looking
in
at
the
the
pod.
planets. Hmm.
Yeah, and you're looking at the planets, you're in the pod, you're in the space station kind of thing. And it's like I'm actually, for the first time ever, I've actually, and this is coming from someone who doesn't play PC VR, right? But for the first time ever, I felt like I'm actually in the game. Maybe Half-Life Alex, but that was ages ago. I can't even remember how good that looked anymore, because that was like back in 2018 or 2019 I played that.
Yeah,
No, maybe 2020, because I had
2019.
the Quest
Yeah.
2. So 2020, that was like 3 years ago now where I played that. So I can't remember perfectly how well that looked. But yeah, this is one of the most beautiful games I've played. Well, what do you think on the actual quest itself?
Yeah, it is very beautiful. I've played a little bit of the PC one as well. On the Quest, there's fewer reflections. The water, it's still very beautiful, but it's not quite as beautiful. There's not as
Mm-hmm.
light fragmentation when you're underwater type of
Sure.
deal. And it almost feels like a fixed foveated rendering, I guess. So the outsides can be a bit blurry at times if you're really focused on it. I didn't even notice this the first hours I was playing through it, but then I watched GT's video. And when you're sprinting, if you look at your arms, around your arm is blurry. I'm not sure
Oh,
why, but
okay.
he said it sort of made him motion sick. I never felt motion sick in this, and this is like
I
a
guess not
platformer.
many
You're,
people run looking at their arms.
yeah, I don't. It's not something I noticed at all. I'm having a
Mhm.
really good time playing it though. I've played for about 3 to 4 hours, and now I'm stuck at a part where I'm just in this firefight, and I'm not
Mm.
100% sure exactly what I need to do, and I needed to like go to bed. So I haven't hopped back in. I do think I'm gonna finish this game though. It'll be
I
one of those rare ones I finish.
I think so too. I've only played. Oh, I don't know how long I've played, but I've only finished the first chapter. So I've done the tutorial and I finished the first chapter, where it's not really spoilers, but the first chapter you're kind of just exploring this planet, and then you end when you're inside a building, shall I say, in the most like vague sense,
Mhm.
without spoilers or anything like that. And that's why I was like, okay, I've had a good 45 minutes probably, or half an hour or so like that. I'm going to take this off and go. Um, and this, first of all, you have a swimming mechanic where you're actually like swimming. You're doing your
Swimming feels good, yeah.
swimming. Does feel good. It's a bit funny how to rise up to the surface and such, because I'm just like padding up, or going up to go down and such.
I struggle going down more than I struggle going up.
You just gotta open your palms and it will go down, but it's kind of fun. There's inside the actual I don't know if it's the ocean or anything like that, but inside the water are these like jellyfish like creatures, where they're kind of scary when they come up to you, because they just grow and grow. But you have this gun that only works in water where you can just shoot.
Have you
Um,
encountered the ones that shoot at you yet?
yeah.
Okay.
The ones with electric and
Yeah.
such. Yeah. I've seen those too. But swimming, like you get the hang of it. The climbing mechanics are pretty good. Feels very much like Horizon does, and the Climb 2 does in terms of climbing. Maybe not perfectly as polished as the Climb 2, but it does work decently well. There's been the only one thing I've not liked is the sprinting.
Why?
Um, when I don't know, sometimes when I sprint and then let go, it just stops dead, and it just feels a little unnatural to me with the sprinting, where it doesn't like slow down or anything like that. It just like stops completely
Hmm.
dead. Um, and I have to hold it to sprint. It would be nice if I could just press it once and it sprints. I
You
don't know.
can change that in the settings, I think, the
Can
toggle.
I? Okay, I haven't looked. I haven't explored the settings at all. And then towards the end of my playthrough, you encounter the what do you call those little creatures where they're like little crabs?
They remind me of Half-Life creatures. I don't really know what
They
they're
do.
called.
Yeah, they do. They do. It gives me like Half-Life vibes in a way. This game gives
Yeah.
me that little bit of inspiration from it.
I will say the sprinting, the way it works now, makes it easier for all the platforming because if you were trying to run and jump onto small platforms, but you had to not, if you didn't just stop sprinting when you stopped and you kept going, that would get a little harder, I
Hmm,
think.
that's fair.
I'll say some of the enemies, like I'm not sure you've made it to human enemies yet.
No.
Sometimes they can be, if you nitpick things in this game, I think it can be nitpicked apart. But I
Yeah.
think it's really the sum of its parts is fun, and I'm enjoying
Hmm.
it. And I think it's probably worth $30. I think it's worth definitely if you get a 25% off in Oculus, and the fact that you can play the Rift version, I think it's 100% worth that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, some of the enemies are a bit dumb. Shooting's a bit arcadey. You only really need one of the, like, I only use a pistol really. There is a shotgun and a SMG that you can craft. I like the crafting system. You're basically scavenging for four different types of parts, and
Hmm.
then there's random like 3D printers around that you throw all of them in. You get that material, and then you can upgrade your
The
weapon.
materials are a bit weird. Like in the first chapter, you have the tentacles from
Mm-hmm.
the jellyfish
Oh,
like
to make the
creatures,
rope, yeah,
and it makes this. It's not even. Yeah, it's a rope, but it's like some squidgy. Like you can grab it on one end and you just like bounce
yeah.
it. It has like good like rubber like physics to it, and you have to attach it to one end, and then you kind of have to throw it to the other side. And I was throwing it so many times, and I was like, "It's not going. It's too far away. I can't throw it that far." I was like literally launching it, and then I
Really, I
realized
felt
if
like it auto did it.
yeah, well, I realized that if I do it like sideways, like this, it will auto get there.
Yeah,
But if I did it like over my head, it's no chance. I don't know if it's because the tracking gets lost halfway through because I'm going over my head and such. But
maybe.
if I side throw it like a baseball kind of, that is fine.
I never lose tracking anymore with my pro controllers,
Oh
so
yeah, it
I'm
must be
not. I'm not
nice.
sure. I'm not too sure.
Must be nice. Do you know how long this game is?
It depends if you're somebody who really scavenges around. I've heard people talk about it that they can beat it in about 5 hours, and I googled it, said it was about a 6 to 7 hour game.
Yes, I just see that now. 6.5 hour average for the
But I
PC
imagine if
version.
you tried to find everything and do all the exploring you could, it could take you 7 to 9 hours, I
It says
imagine.
rushed. It looks like 5.5 hours, but if you want to just chill out, go through it all, yeah, 8.5, maybe even 9. So you're right. Yeah, those numbers are right. Not many people have contributed to this. How long to beat? There's only 9 of them, but that's what 9 of people
Yeah,
have.
my thing's mostly based on all the reviews I've watched, like PSVR Without
Yeah,
Parole, GT, and maybe Mateo 311.
yeah. I'm not sure if I'm gonna finish this one anytime soon, but I'm going to try. Because I am enjoying it, and I need just to get into the habit of just finishing games because I
Hmm.
just don't.
It's been eating into my workout time, honestly. I've been spending about an
Yeah.
hour or so in this daily instead of playing Synth Riders or something like that. And I don't get quite as good of workout, but I can actually feel like I'm accomplishing and finishing the game, and I'm having fun. Like I said,
Yeah.
I'm having fun.
In the PSVR 2 version, for anyone who's interested, you get haptic support on the triggers as you would think, and it feels as good as you'd think. You know, it gets to the point where the haptic support is just a given. You know, it's like, yeah, this is how the gun feels, you know, and such. It's not like a big thing. I don't think, as much as a haptic thing is great, it's still not such a big thing to not have it.
Mm.
You know, it's still fine if you don't have it through the Quest controllers and such, but it is a nice little immersive feature for sure.
Yeah, it adds to the
Um,
immersion.
it is a nice immersive feature, but that's Hubris. A game that I do want to complete. That's why I'm also hesitant on buying Pixel Ripped, because if I buy it, then I probably
Pixel
won't
Ripped is
continue.
short though, much shorter, 3 hours I
Is it?
think.
Yeah, I think it's a $20 game as well. It's a bit of a cheaper game, which kind of reflects that, I guess. But yeah, that's Hubris. That's Walkabout. That's everything I've been playing. Is there anything else?
No, I think I covered it all this week.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, that will do for part one then. And in part two, we will talk about the Apple Vision Pro, because I feel like we didn't speak about that last week. I don't think. I
No,
think we skipped that over. And also, we'll cover some of the VR news as well. So we'll see you then.
Hey, we know public lobbies in VR games can be a bit toxic, feel a bit empty at times. That's why we created the Let's Talk Oculus Discord, a friendly community that you can join for multiplayer meetups, general VR chat, the game, and chat about VR, fitness motivation, and there's even a very impressive 3D printing channel. Join over 100 of our community members in the Let's Talk Oculus Discord for free. The link is right in the description.
All right, welcome back to part two, Apple Vision Pro and the VR news. Let's talk about the Apple Vision Pro. We haven't spoken about it on the podcast, and obviously it came out whilst I was on vacation, so we haven't really given any thoughts about it. But the Apple Vision Pro, as people probably know, we won't give like a full breakdown of what it is because it's been in the media for so long. It's also, the announcement is I think it's got 51 million views on YouTube, which is
it's a lot.
the most on any YouTube video. Is on like legit most on any YouTube. There's a few YouTube videos which have billions of views, but I think they're like fake views and such. 51 million is definitely the most. They're definitely in the West.
Wait, of any video ever?
That's what I heard. Yeah, of any video.
That seems crazy.
That does seem crazy. I might be wrong on the facts, but I'm pretty sure that's what I read. But anyway, Apple Vision Pro, it's $3,500 US. It comes out in the US.
Start
only.
set.
It says start set. Okay, I didn't realize that. That makes sense actually, because you can probably change those bands to like a leather Hermes band, which costs even more. It comes out in 2024 in the US only, and potentially in other markets later on that year of 2024. Like I said, it's $3,500. It's more of an AR device than a VR device, but it can do both. It's mixed reality in the end of the day, but it's more to do with AR. Key things to note: the design is super slim, but it is in metal. So it could be heavy, but they haven't announced any grams on that. Some people who have already tried it have said that it is very comfortable for the first half an hour or so, but then it can get pretty heavy, which could be a bit of a deal breaker when it comes to a device like this. The battery is separate. The battery is just a cord, which, how elegantly it looks, it's only a 2-hour battery in the end of the day. Hopefully one day, or when it is announced next year, that battery is improved, or they allow like third-party battery packs to also power it.
And you can use it when it's plugged into like a wall.
Yeah, like if you're on your Mac, you can have it plugged in and it would just be running through that, which is absolutely fine. Which is what I wanted the Quest Pro to do, to be honest. You know,
that's it. But I don't think you can hot swap. I don't think it has an internal battery. So if you,
no.
I'm not sure. So if you change if you go from being plugged in to using the battery, you have to shut the thing down. You can't do it.
Yeah, there's no internal battery at all, as far as I'm aware. They haven't released all the details or anything like that. I've watched the announcement twice and went through most of the developer sessions as well, because I'm really interested in developing for it, and it's lots of stuff is going over my head, but it is still very interesting and stuff. But Samson, what were your initial thoughts when you first saw it?
I think it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool device. I think it's a developer kit, and I don't think it's
Yeah.
really meant for many people.
No.
I'm not really sure of its use cases. I'm not sure they're sure of its use cases. It's similar to the iPhone releasing without any apps or an app store, and so it's up to the developers out there to create use cases for it.
Yeah.
There's no working out in it, I don't think. It's got a pretty limited space, like a 1.5 meter by 1.5 meter circle. And if you leave that space, it'll get you out of your experience, so to say. So room scale type of VR games.
Which is confusing to me because I would have thought you'd want it boundary less. Unless that's just because let me just rephrase that. Maybe the 1.5 by 1.5 is for VR only, like when you're fully immersed, and when you're in AR, you can just walk around your whole house and it'd be fine. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I am not sure, but maybe you'll be able to have VR circles all around your house. So
maybe
you get up from one, you walk in AR to the next.
It's gonna be like the Meta Quest 3, where it has a depth sensor in there, in a way. I think it's a LiDAR scanner, but the depth sensor in there where it will automatically find your walls, so you won't have to do a Guardian.
It has a LiDAR type of depth sensor and two IR light tracker.
There's like 15 cameras in this thing. There's so many.
15 cameras exactly.
It looks like when you see these cameras, there's a view where you see the headset, but then you see all the cameras as well at the bottom, and it kind of looks like a spider's face in a way.
Yeah. And that's why you can just pinch wherever your hand is, and it will see it because it can see everything.
There's cameras literally parallel to the ground. It's on the actual metal itself at the bottom. My initial thoughts was like, I'm so happy that this is actually real. It won't be something I buy unless I can from now till next year learn how to develop on it. That's the only reason why I would get one. But you're right. Everything you're saying is right. It is for the developers. It is. Let's see. Now it's in the wild. Let's see what it looks like in 3-4 years time, with when it matures, when developers get their hands on it and get to like test and figure out, oh, this is what's going to be really useful. It's like everything that they do with the Apple Watch. It was the same thing. The Apple Watch Zero, the first one, was pretty meh.
Yeah.
Pretty meh. It was very limited. It was expensive. And now everyone who has an iPhone pretty much has a watch, because it is very useful when it comes to especially fitness stuff and such like that. So we'll see what the market is. But you're right. Yeah.
It's very individual. It's, for example, a lot of their use cases were watching TV or watching ball games or watching movies. And the idea being that, oh, look, you don't need a TV now. You have all these. But I can't invite a friend over to watch something inside my AVP. So it's great for a single guy like me. But if I'm trying to have friends over or share something with my family, it's less useful.
Yeah, I agree. It's a weird way of how they announced the pricing, because they said, if the way they announced the pricing, they basically said a TV plus surround sound speakers plus this, it would equal the same amount, if not more. But you're right. There's no social aspect of it, unfortunately. I mean, you just can't. It's never going to be like that, right? I mean, that's the only way it would be if you're with someone, but they also have their own headset. But that's not going to happen until maybe glasses is a thing, So yeah, you're right. I don't think the TV, like, it's weird because there's one part in the advertisement is that they were in an aeroplane and they put on Everything Everywhere at Once, the film, and that film's longer than the battery life of Apple, unless, like, I don't think the airplane plugs are powerful enough to keep this running, unless you're in like first class, maybe you got more power, but I guess that's a different story. But yeah, anything that like excites you, like any specific like features that they showed off that like
The
excites
fact
you?
that it'll show or be able to play some VR games, I'm curious about how those will be played, like Rec Room.
Yeah, fair enough. I think the couple things that really excite me is one, there was an NFL part where it's like you're watching Red Zone in a way, where if a touchdown happens, I don't know, Travis Kelce will come up on the left side and just start celebrating, and then at the bottom you can see like a replay, but you can see it in any angle that you kind of want to. I thought that was cool, but I think it's a great, if this takes off, it'd be the perfect way to watch sports on by yourself, obviously, but like you'll have like courtside seats and such, and
Yeah.
it will feel fairly real, like you're there in the best case scenario without actually being there. That's what really excites me. What also really excites me is their focus on hand tracking without the controllers, because I think this is only going to make hand tracking better and better. And I'm interested to see how that would develop as
I
well.
imagine it will work with or they'll eventually have third party controllers somehow also.
Well, they do said support for like third party game controllers, like an Xbox
Yeah.
controller, so you can play Game Pass or something like that, right? On there. Whether or not be actual like motion controllers is another thing. What else was really
They'll like
exciting?
license it out, Like, all right, you can build controllers for us. We get the 30% cut.
Sure. I mean that's just the Apple way.
Apple.
That's just the Apple way. So anything that didn't excite you, like anything that they showed that was like, I'm not sure
A lot
about
of it.
that.
The size, the price, the fact that it would be great if they just came out and said it'll work with Steam VR. That would probably get a lot of people to buy it. I am excited also for the amount of pixels. It's going to look so clear. I'm excited to go to an Apple store and try it.
And try it.
And that's that's probably it for now.
I think the only thing that didn't excite me, which looked a bit odd to me, was actually there's two things. One was doing FaceTime calls in it, because the person FaceTiming you will see like an AI version of you, and it's very Black Mirror.
And there were no legs.
There's no legs. I guess it can technically see your legs, so if it needed to do that in the future, maybe it would work. But yeah, and the other thing would be, I mean, there's no legs on FaceTime anyway, if you think about it. You just be like with your phone. And the other thing was the ability to 3D record people. So it's like the advertisement was you're sat on the couch, there was a dad, they were recording their kids playing, and then later on he would watch that back, and it feels like they're like in the room with you. But I think right now, because you're wearing a headset, it looks a bit creepy, like you're just watching them through the headset, recording them without like enjoying the actual moment. Where I think that is going to be good in the future when there's glasses and pass-through mode is literally just through the lenses. Then it's a bit different, because
I don't think we're ever getting to glasses form factor, but I do think it'll become slowly more and more normal. Like people, when I was a kid, used to think my father was insane talking to himself because he was an early adopter to Bluetooth headsets.
The Bluetooth headsets.
And just cell phones in general.
Yeah.
I do think that'll become more normal.
That's
I'm
true.
curious how that recording feature will be used for, the VR porn industry.
And would you buy it for that?
Probably not. But maybe things recorded with that can be watched on other VR headsets.
On Quests. And yeah, like in terms of buying it, like I just mentioned, I would only buy it if I could develop on it. It's going to be a thing though, because it's Apple Vision Pro. A lot of people have said this, where it looks like them using the Pro name, meaning they're going to come out with a cheaper headset at some point too.
I think I've read in like 2025 or so.
Yeah, which makes a lot of sense. It'll be like a MacBook range, right? This will be your bee's knees, and then you'll be able to get a cheaper one. Where a cheaper one will still be probably about, if this is going to be 3.5, the cheaper one's still going to be like 2.5. Or
I guess I'm most excited that this will be the most expensive and the worst one.
it would be.
So
Yeah, because I think the prices are just gonna trickle
They'll go
down. The
down.
next Vision Pro, I'd be shocked if it's 3,500.
Yeah.
I feel like it'll be maybe 27. It'll be like dropping down. It'll always be more than 2,000, I think. Especially the Pro version. I mean, that's what their MacBooks are, 2,300 at least, right? Or 2,000 at least. So I think it'll always be more than 2,000. But yeah, it's just be the most expensive one and the worst one in a way. But it's still going to be exciting just to see what happens now. And what does this look like for the Quest Pro? You know,
What is anything? All HMDs, or head mounted displays, if you will, all headsets, they all have their pros and cons. No headset is really, oh, this is what you need for everything, right?
no,
Like the people love the Index, but you need a PC. People love the Quest, but it's all built
most
in
mobile.
one. And yeah, exactly. And I think Meta's got itself in this weird place with this Pro. The fact that the Quest 3 is going to be better than the Pro in almost every way.
Everything but eye tracking.
Yeah, essentially everything but eye tracking. Exactly.
Yeah, and the chip's gonna be. We'll talk about that in a second, but yeah. Anyway, that's the Apple news. Let's move on to the
AVP.
news stories. We have Forever Cornhole gets a Steam port and is now free to play. By the time you're actually watching this, it will be free to play on June the 28th, which I'm excited for because I've never played this one.
Really? I bought this one, which means I have everything unlocked.
Nice. Yeah, so yeah, if you already own this one, and you feel a bit stumped because you just bought it or something like that, don't worry, you'll have everything, all the beanbags, I guess, and all the different cornhole.
Yeah.
What do you call those cornhole wooden structures?
No, I'm not sure what the technical term is.
The cornhole
Cornhole
holes,
boards, if you will. Yeah.
boards. That makes a bit more sense. They will all be unlocked for you, because you paid for the game. But yeah, I'm excited for this one because I've played. I think all of the other ones. Have I played darts? I might not have played darts.
I own darts, but I don't think I played it yet. Classic.
Yeah. Classic Samson.
I think I bought it actually to get more balls unlocked in Forever Bowling.
Yeah. No. I think anyone who has not played this game might as well pick it up because it's free. It's interesting how they're making it free to play and not just. Actually, I think we spoke about this with Lauren at the top of the year, but it would be nice if Cornhole was just shoe-inned into the other games as well. Because
I think you can get into darts. I think I saw a way to do that.
You
just
can
go
do
through
that
a
in
different
pool
door.
as well.
Yeah.
You can do that in pool. There's like a
Oh,
couple
maybe that was
portals
it.
that
Maybe it was
kind of
pool. Yeah.
yeah, you can go into darts, I think, and such. But yeah,
I imagine Cornhole was their worst selling one and probably didn't have a very large player base, and going free to play fixes that. And it's a good in to the 4VR series. So if you're like, oh, let me try Cornhole because it's free. Oh, this game's kind of fun. Let me try their darts game. Let me try their pool game. Let me try their bowling game. It's a good intro.
absolutely. I that makes sense that it's the worst selling one if it is because it's Cornhole. It's only really a States thing, I guess, maybe Canada thing, but the other ones are like more universal in a way. Like, there's no people in the UK going to buy Cornhole unless they went to the States and had a great time because it doesn't exist. So.
You need space. Yeah, you do need. It is a yard game.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next one, which I guess you know most about. Cards and Tankards adds a 40 card deck with a new draft mode update. They quote, allows players to compete against each other in drafting a deck of 40 cards, which sounds like a bit of a Yu-Gi-Oh kind of esque, and there are over 160 cards available between 4 factions.
I don't really know what that means. And honestly, I got in a discussion in the Rough Talk VR. We were like, we don't really know what draft mode means. And apparently this is sort of what they sent the press as well. And they were like, we don't really know what this means. But I imagine if you're a really big deck builder card gamer, you might understand. I don't really understand what draft mode means, and I'm not even going to take a guess at it because I'll likely be wrong.
Interesting.
But if you know, get in those comments. If you're on the YouTube watching, tell us what this is.
I mean, we'll see it in the update. don't think there's a release date for this update yet. I'm just gonna. Oh no, it's already available. It's already out today, so you could just jump in and try it. Cards and Tankards is
It's
free
free.
as well, right?
Yeah.
Another free app. So definitely check it out if you want to see what the hell draft mode is. Moving on, we got gift cards. Quest 2 gift cards now available in more countries. I actually didn't know this was a thing in the US in general. But you can now get them in the UK, Canada, Ireland, Germany, France, and Japan. I mean, I'm in Canada. I guess that's why I didn't have a clue that this was a thing. But now gift cards available in more countries. This is actually a good. It'll be a good giveaway, on the channel. Do like a
100%.
$20 gift card giveaway or something, or a raffle now and again. That might work out now that we've got more countries.
It's good.
So.
Gift card's a good way to launder some money,
Absolutely.
There was a deal recently, I forget what the website was, but they were offering a $50 gift card for $42.50. So I did buy one of those, and I wanted to buy a second the next day, but they were all gone.
Yeah. I saw there was 15% off at a different website as well for the US one. But yeah, that'd be cool if there's places that do it for cheaper. That'd be a great way to buy your games. Because people do that for like the Switch and PlayStation all the time. They always find places that have got discounts on them, and it's the best way.
It makes it easier to give away games, right? Because you might know that a kid or a relative or a friend, whoever you're getting a gift for, has VR, but you don't know exactly what type of games they're into.
Yeah.
Just give them this.
Or there might be like you, and that has pretty much almost every game. So it's very difficult to find a game that works. But a gift card will help. All right, moving on. For the big update, the Quest v55 update is coming, I guess, over the next few weeks, as the updates kind of do. It's a big update. It brings the performance boost that was promised as the Quest 3 was announced. So just to kind of go back on that, Quest 2 GPU is being boosted by 19% and the CPU clock speed by 26%. Quest Pro increases by 11% for the GPU and the 26% for the CPU as well. And then the Quest 3, just a quick note here, but the Quest 3 is more than twice the performance of the Quest 2, even with these boosts, which is going to be very interesting because it'll be almost twice the performance of the Quest Pro as well. The Quest
super
3,
powerful.
I don't know how to test this one out. This was one of those things that you just might notice. I remember Walking Dead put out a video trying to compare the two differences, but I couldn't really understand what the difference is from their video. To be honest, it didn't really make sense.
I imagine your quests might be getting hotter.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Or they might have found a way to improve the cooling via software as well.
And or your battery might be not lasting as long as you're used to.
Yeah, I feel like the cooling will be fine because I think that's the way they've been able to boost it without affecting it. But yeah, the battery's dying already. When we were playing Walkabout on Wednesday, mine barely went through the 18 holes. And granted, there was 8 of us, so it was probably almost a 2-hour game.
One.
But still, 2 hour. It's not 3 hours anymore. Like with Demio, I could remember back when I haven't played it for ages, but I remember then Demio was the one that was pushing it. Yeah, more than anything. But now
I got my big battery, so I'm good. I was still good.
That's what I'm not like right now. I'm at the stage now that the Quest 3 is so close that there's no point buying any accessories or any upgrades for the Quest 2 because it's just I'm either going to sell it or give it away or just have it somewhere as like a museum piece. So, it got to the point now where I'm now planning where I know I'm going to get a better strap from maybe Bobo, and I know I'm going to get a battery pack for sure. Probably with Bobo because of the interchangeable ones. Yeah, and such. So like I'm using the mistakes that I did with the Quest 2 to
and don't get the 128.
No, I will go for the
they haven't announced it yet.
Yeah. Hoping there's a 512 instead.
Me too.
But
because originally it was what $30 more for the extra price or extra space. So I'm hoping they go more space and it's like $100 more or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean when the Quest 2 came out, it was 64 gig and 256. There's a big jump. So it's not out the norms where they would do 128 and 512. Have a big jump. And
Yeah.
maybe next year they'll get rid of the 128 and do a 256 again, which is stupid. Why not just release it with 256? I don't know. You should burn all the people early. But anyway, I'm getting angry of something that they haven't even done yet. So, more things for the v55 update. Dynamic resolution scaling is now supported for both headsets, which means that it can increase the render resolution when there's a spare GPU available and then decrease it when it's under too much load, which I guess should help with the battery performance, but we'll see about that. Passcode security option is now available if you ever have a passcode for your Quest.
I do not,
I guess that's,
because I'd forget it.
I just don't. No one knows. No one close to me knows how to even turn the thing on. So it's no.
It does. When I buy things, I have a pin that I have to type in when I buy it, and it keeps pushing me to get rid of that. And I'm like, no, I'm not getting rid of that. I'm going to keep that.
It gives me a second to go, okay, do I really want to buy this? Or such. But yeah, the pin's good. Multi-touch support for the Quest browser is now available. So like on your phone, to pinch to zoom and such is now available through hand tracking, which is really nice. The Explore tab has changed again. It's now going to show the avatar outfit store, media content from like Netflix and such, and features Horizon Worlds, which is just what it is. I don't really use the Explore tab. Yeah. In fact, I should change it. I know you can default change it to like the first tab that opens when you turn your Quest on is your library, and I need to do that because the Explore tab is getting a bit. The only thing I like about it is that on the right I can see which friends are online. That's the only thing.
I've changed to using the touchscreen menu as well. I no longer use the big one that's in front of me, so I can physically touch the screen. I've been liking
nice. That. I haven't tried that. And then finally, the native Android Messenger app is now available, which has all the features of your standard Messenger app, which is on your phone. Because right now it's like a Quest version, which you can't really do much.
But it made me install the app. I did boot it up, and then I was like, all right, that's Messenger. Cool.
That's Messenger now. Yeah. Perfect. All right, that's v55. Two more news stories here. We've got, for all those Ragnarock players out there, there's now a flat screen version, which is going to be interesting.
I don't know how that works. Is it? I was trying to watch a video or find a video on it, and I couldn't find one. I was wondering if it's
just uses the face buttons
and you got to press them with time. I'm not sure.
Probably not as fun, but it is what it is. Yeah, it is cross play, I believe, with the flat screen. But there's a new DLC which is out now. It's called the Sabaton DLC. If I've butchered that name, I apologize. But that is a Swedish heavy metal band and includes 6 new songs, including a new environment and new hammers and all that jazz, as you'll get, as you'll like.
It's more metal than jazz, but yeah.
Yeah, all that drum. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Breaches adds a party system and bot takeover in a new update. It's a free update. Essentially, a couple things. You can now manage party invites through the friends menu, which is pretty massive, to be honest. And also, there's a bot takeover. So if you've got like AI players on your team, but one of your human players dies, they can now take over one of the AI players.
We used this a few times this weekend. It's kind of cool. When you die, you get a camera. You can switch with the A button. You'll cycle through your players. Eventually, you find your bot, and then you hold both grips for 5 seconds or so when you're over them, and you take them over. It's pretty useful. Yep. It's less useful in that the bots are usually the first to die because they just go running in, but it can be useful for sure.
Yeah, fair enough. What do you think of the actual bots in? Is it pretty bad, the bots situation in Breaches? Like, are they?
Yeah, they're not the best. Definitely, you don't feel the best when a bot kills you.
Yeah, that's a slap in the face. Slap in the face. All right, so that's the VR news, and that will do it for part 2. And part 3, we'll talk about the 2 games that are out this week and anything else. So we'll see you in then. Let's Talk Oculus is available on all good podcast platforms and some rubbish ones as well. If you want to see the video version, it's available on YouTube and Spotify. And also, if you love us so much, then consider throwing us $1 at patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. Back to the show. All right, welcome back to part 3, the games out this week and anything else. Samson's kick us off with a new fishing game.
Yes. Let me dive right in. Galactic Catch coming out June 29th this week. Today, if you're listening, unless you're a Patreon, join our Patreon. Have a fantastic time as you go fishing across galaxies. Take on the role of a trusted robot on a mission to save your friends. Mac and Cheese. Creative. Catch wondrous alien fish across strange worlds, craft and power up your fishing gear, go on challenging missions, and customize your aquarium with unique decor and prized fish. This one looks pretty cool. It is single player, but it definitely has a unique take on fishing and all of that jazz. It looks kind of funny, too. I know the developer has made a few other VR games. I'm now forgetting the titles of one. One is about I'm pretty short. I've 10 to 15 minute experience. Did they do Invasion,
the one with the rabbit?
I'm not sure about that one. I'm thinking of like one that where the main character looks kind of like a big tomato or something like this. And I remember it being really bizarre, but it's kind of funny in like the Rick and Morty sense.
Yeah. This one's not for me, but you love your fishing games. This is probably something that you'd want to do. Sorry, they did do Evasion. They did The Crow. They did Bonfire.
Bonfire, that's the one I was thinking about.
Yeah, so I was just looking at that. I mean, if you love fishing games, this is another fun fishing game, which is not real VR fishing. This is more fake fishing, but it's... It looks nice. Like, not gonna lie, though, the art styles looks really nice.
That's what's drawn me in. Haha.
Yeah, and it's going to be nice to see the different types of fish because they can do, whatever they want. But yeah. Okay, that's enough of your puns. Let's move on to the next one. It's called Mindset. It is on June 29th as well. It's a hand tracking game. Sorry, let me just say that again. Take on an intellectual challenge and use your wits to solve dozens of intriguing cube-shaped puzzles. And there's a little brain emoji in the middle of that. While unraveling the mystery of your past, enjoy an advanced hand tracking system that enables you to activate, connect, and shift an array of combinations with your own hands. Delve into an immersive story taking place in a bizarre, lucid dream, or show off your skills in the challenge mode. A puzzle hand tracking game. This seems right up your alley.
Possibly so. I do like messing around with the hand tracking games. Though I rarely finish a puzzle game because I tend to get stuck.
Yeah, that's fair. Perfect. So they're the 2 games. They're both out on June 29th, as mentioned. Anything else, Samson? Any other flat screen stuff you're doing? Or
I hopped in that Viewfinder game that D-Max sent me. It's in Steam Fest. Yeah, I got stuck in that one too.
You got stuck? Viewfinder, for those of you who don't know, it just got announced. It's out for the PlayStation 5 and the PC, and it is... I don't think it's on Xbox. The demo is available right now on both of those platforms. The demo is really quick. It does not take long to complete. It's like 10 minutes or so. Imagine... This is going to sound like, oh yeah, of course it's going to be like this, but The Witness... if you've not played The Witness, just what you're doing. If you love puzzle games, it's the best puzzle game I've ever played on a console, for sure, without a doubt. And, well, I guess Portal is another puzzle game, which is probably the best puzzle game, actually. Yeah. But those 2 are like 10 out of 10 puzzle games. Imagine them put together in a way.
I'd even say Braid, because you can mess with time.
Yeah, that's true. That's exactly right. Art style is beautiful. It's very calming. It's very clever in terms of mechanic, in terms of you're in this little area and then you pick up pictures and then you can paste the picture somewhere, and essentially the picture becomes its own world and you can walk through the picture. And a little confusing to kind of explain, but you kind of use that feature to solve puzzles throughout the world. So, for example, there's a puzzle where on a tower, there's the battery that you need on top of the tower, but you can't get up the tower. So what you do is you get a camera eventually at some point, you take a picture of it, and you just rotate it like 90 degrees.
You know what? This might be where
And
I'm
rotate
stuck.
Is that the one you're stuck on?
Probably.
You rotate it 180 and then take the picture, and then because it becomes 3D, the battery just falls down. And you can do that over and over again.
Yeah, where I am at, I just thought that I had to go off into the distance, so I just kept pacing the pictures down and made myself a really long path. But then I'm like, all right, now I noticed that wasn't working, so I was like, all right, now I really don't know what
what's happening.
I'm to do. And one of the first puzzles is a bridge, and I solved it how it didn't want me to solve it. I put the bridge somewhere where it wasn't supposed to go, and it wasn't queuing the next thing to happen.
I see.
And so I got stuck. I was like, all right, what do I do now? Yeah, exactly. So then I rewound. I basically started that part over. I put the bridge where I was like, all right, it probably wants it here. Let's try that. And then it queued it up. I was like,
and then it worked. Fair enough. Yeah, it's still a little finicky at times, just trying to understand, but I'm very excited about this game. It comes out at the end of July on Steam and on PS5 as well. So if you are into the puzzle games, The Witness and Portal kind of scratches your back. That's not what I'm trying to say.
Scratches your puzzle itch.
Scratches the puzzle itch is what I'm trying to say. Definitely check it out. It's a free demo right now, and that's Viewfinder. That's it. That's the only thing. I put my Switch away because I'm not gonna lie. I got to a part where I was like, you know what? I want to sell this thing and get the Steam Deck, but then. But then, I as soon as I was packing it into a box, I looked at it and I was like, "It's so nice, though."
Did you beat Zelda?
No, I haven't beat Zelda. I'm not in the Zelda mood right now. I saw Doc in the Discord beat the new Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, and said it did not disappoint. That also convinced me just to keep it as well. Yeah. But now that we're getting into summer, it's one of those things where I will beat Zelda. That would be more of my winter game. Mm-hmm. I tend to not leave the house when it comes to winter and it's all dark. So, I will just save Zelda till after September. And
when September ends.
When September ends and it gets just dark at 4 p.m., 4:30 p.m., that will be my Zelda time. All right, perfect. That'll wrap it up for the podcast. Next week, we have a fun guest podcast with Show. So look forward to that. We'll see you then next Thursday. That's all I need to announce.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
See you next time
for watching.
on Letstalkoculus.